Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. As you can see here, we're not doing passenger operations today on the Northeast Corridor. We're actually on the Horseshoe Curve with Norfolk Southern 5290. Now, you guys may not know why 5290 is what I'd call a specialty engine. And I'd say that is because it is ex-Conrail 8090. You guys can search it up, all right? Yeah, 5290 is an ex-Conrail GP38, and this thing, now Conrail, whenever Conrail ended 5290, right, got its renumbering, but it did not get its paint job up until, I believe, the last photo of this locomotive, at least that I see, says that it was taken in 2008, and that was when it was wearing its Operation Lifesaver Conrail paint, all right, before it was handed over to Norfolk Southern, and I'd say it actually got its repaint. Now, this thing has been between both Norfolk Southern and CSX, and yeah, last photo location, at least that I can see on the Conrail Photos website here, is that it was taken by Rich Carl on December 13th, 2008. It was taken at Brown's Yard. If you guys know where that is, you know where it is. Now, its Conrail road number was 8090. Its post-Conrail owner is currently Conrail, and its current number is 5290. That is why we have 5290 out today. And that's why we're not using the, let's see. So we're not using the 5302, even though that is ex-Conrail as well. So we have a nice built-up yard here. I didn't build up this entire world, so there will be empty spots. This yard is the fullest spot, where this is just a, video to, we don't have everything on. I'm going to start with our generator field and auxiliary generator ons. All right, then we're going to move up here to radio, lights, and headlights. And we're going to turn on our front-facing headlights to bright, with our ditch light being on flash. This is just to let everyone know that this train is operational and ready to move. We're going to turn on our fuel pumps to get that through. Then we'll turn on our turbo, so that the turbo is feeding from those fuel pumps, getting that fuel. All right, so now we're going to turn on our AC control and our reverse control. I'm going to turn on our auxiliary generator field again. This is where we're going to turn on our control, local control, and then we're going to turn on our heaters, cab heaters, because that helps with, I don't know what that helps with in train sim world. I guess if you have the full suit. And now we're going to turn on our module control. We're going to turn on utilities and electronic devices. Warning devices can stay off for now, because frame brake is going to be on. It's going to be our controls for now. I'm going to turn on our front-facing number lights and our rear-facing. I'm going to turn on our platform and engine lights. This further lets anyone outside know that this thing is about to move. Our isolation is on run already, and we already have our headlight control on single or intermediate unit. I'm going to sit inside of the seat here. I'm going to turn on our lights here within the actual locomotive. So we're going to get this thing started. We're going to go turn on our engine run, generator field, control and fuel pump. Those are all on. Those are all active now. They're doing their thing. We're going to turn on our step lights as well and our gauge lights. We're going to test the alerter here. We'll reset it. Then we're going to do our bell. This is just to let people know further. This thing is about to move. It is on leader deck, so we're going to, before we insert our reverser handle, we're just going to give it 2 blasts of the horn. So we're going to go. Thing still had this Conrail era horn as well. Look at that beauty. Comparatively. Of course, it's an ES44. Oh, we have CSX-270 with this dead intel. I won't say dead intel, but this is just leased power. Leasing power that's been leased to local children by CSX to be used. We also have 2 Amtrak auto racks we have to drop off, and we have some Canadian National stuff that we need to have to drop off as well. This will be a multi-railroad layout, actually. If this map survives. If you guys don't know why I'm not using the passenger map, it's because it died on me. It just died. The train derailed, and I can't really delete that. So I saved right before it derailed, and that's just the unfortunate reality. So I'm gonna insert our reverser. I'm gonna put that in forward. I'm gonna wiggle. I'm gonna test our dynamic brake here. I'm gonna go to 5. That is the most dynamic brake I plan to use. If I go over, that's just a mistake. So dynamic brakes have been tested beautifully. So we're going to stop our horn here. Now, before we actually start moving, this is just the final. If you're not out of the way, get out of the way. We're going to do ditch lights on. So now that stop flashing, they're on bright. Right, they're letting anyone up or down the tracks, get off the tracks. If you're on track 2, I believe this is track 2, yeah. If you're on track 2, you're way down. I don't know if 5290 is on track 1 or track 2. Alright, so just move off the tracks. Here we go. 2 blasts at the horn, and we are set off to go here. We'll go 5. We got a little movement. Brought notch 6, notch 7, notch 8. So yeah, I don't think that I know they're collaborating. I know they're trying something. I'm going to ease off the brakes there a little bit. Oh, we got a little bit of movement there. A little bit of slacking. Yeah, we're going to turn on warning devices now. Actually, before we set our path, because this is an actual glitch within the game, I'm just going to do that there. Set it in neutral. One and 2 should be clear. So here we're going to go direct to. Actually, I'm going to go to Grifton to the siding here, actually. I'm going to see if I can set some cars. Ooh, that should be good enough there. We'll try resetting that there nicely. Actually, I'm going to try activating these engines in the back here just to get a little extra traction. And then just have some knockers set up for MU. So we want this thing to be guzzling gas as well. We want this whole thing to be on. Yeah. So everything's on. We're just going to set the air brakes using this locomotive here. Just to get extra pressure in there. And cut in. And save. This is in trail. We have everything for this locomotive on, except for that reversal handle. We're going to put that in. So that should be neutral. Full release for that. That's already released. Test the horn a bit for our run back. Confirm that the horn and bell are synchronized and are working. So now you have two locomotives moving. That should be good enough. Get the gears priming in that AC 4400 CW. And now we're getting good. Punch. Yep, that's going to get us moving there. 6 would just be overkill, but now we're moving at Mach 6 now. Very glitchy horn. I do say so myself. But there we go. So, our consists 2 Amtrak auto racks, 5 Canadian National auto racks, and the boxcar, a BNSF, well, 3 BNSF hoppers, another Canadian National boxcar, Clinchfield Railroad boxcar, CSX boxcar, 4 Norfolk Southern boxcars, 5, I believe 5 or 6 ethanol tankers. It's going to be 6 ethanol tankers. 6 empty bulkhead flat cars. 12 CSX hoppers and 1 caboose. We're going to turn off our warning device now. But yeah, if this map doesn't die on us, then that's just a given. I wouldn't say relatively short for this locomotive type, but I would say it's definitely not a local run. Definitely not. And the CSX stuff is going to go first, so yeah. show for these guys here. I love those signals. Look at that. Beautiful. And we're almost at our destination. I think the curve is right here. This will be my first time actually going onto the curve. So you have to just pop this. That's a nice one. I don't mind it. Beautiful. Go notch 8 now because this is becoming a challenging grade here now. But wow, look at that. I'm gonna save here. We're most likely gonna derail at this save. Something's telling me to take a screenshot. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this here just for our thumbnail here. We have our thumbnail. Actually, our thumbnail should be down here somewhere. Oh, we're getting a bit blurry. No, it should not be down there, apparently. So we're just gonna, let's see, like that. Ooh, yeah, that's great. We're saving that one. We're gonna run way off the bell here. Yeah, we're almost at the curve. Check and see why they call it the horseshoe curve. Literally shaped like a horseshoe. And that's nice. Don't want to overspeed on the curve here. And zero in our throttle here. So now we're approaching the curve here. So let's stop the train here. Or at least slow it. Just to get ahead of it. Gaining on us here. We have arrived at the curve. If I cut across, it should be good if it allows. Which I highly doubt it would allow me to cut across here. Because it's, you know, it's train sim world. Okay, yep. Yep, where the water's orange. Wow. Now we can speed up. We got to do an Amtrak run on the horseshoe. We don't have the T-42, but I can find a substitute for that. I'll lay off the bell again here. I like these. I like these old style signals. I don't know what they're called. I like them. Pennsylvania Railroad. We did here. Service brake test at the tower here. I'll grab it and do the rest here. This. Actually, if you guys didn't know, this here, I think track 2, it's either 3 or 2. But track 2 here, this was removed after the derailment of the red arrow, which derailed on this curve here. I would say I don't think on this curve here specifically. But it did derail on one of these curves. I would say because of, you know, over speed. Yeah, you have the highway there, that there. But yeah, if you guys don't know the story behind the red arrow, search that up. But yeah, I believe it did derail on one of these curves of the horseshoe curve here. I just don't know which curve. Yeah, the red arrow would be a beautiful train to recreate there. You don't have the cars for it here in Trainstone World. Here's the North of that caboose there. Yeah, CSX and Metrolink collabed on a CNL Heritage caboose. Cry about it. Cry about it. This is my universe, not yours. You can only modify what trains go on it, not the cars. I like these signals. I'm gonna turn on my cab light there. Okay, let's see what happened. There we go. That should set the air hoses. Or even that should definitely. So we dumped all the air because there was I don't know if you guys saw it on your screen, but there was a little bit of a jolt on my end with the screen. Usually if I put it in emergency, it does not derail when I restart the scenario. If it were to fail somehow, so now we're just waiting. And we're on the move again, beautifully. Get a photo of this here. What angle do we want? We want. Oh, that'd be beautiful. We need one with it barely in focus. So we're gonna go down on the exposure. This is realistic for a shadowed area. But we're gonna go high in saturation. No vignette. Up the brightness. Depth of field, we're focused on the train. I'm gonna zoom in for that FOV. But yeah, we missed it. We missed our opportunity. That was our opportunity. I yoked it, guys. I broke the yoke. The whole egg has been destroyed. See, this is why we did that. See, this is why we save. So yeah, we passed the signal safety danger thing, yada yada yada. Whatever it is, we're just gonna. Yeah, the train is relatively shorter because we're putting the last three cars boop, right in there. We're just gonna. Uh, I'm gonna back it into this one. This one looks more scenic. The air equalize. Three horns to notify that I'm backing up. There should be speed restriction for crossings like this, especially with it being on Main. There should be speed restriction and flaggers on these crossings. Honestly, even though it is slow, it's a smaller, slower industrial, there still should be a bit of a slow down in this area. There we go. That's enough in the side in there. It's for my comfort. Do this realistically. We're actually gonna get out into this part. We have to close this door on the roads. So, before I uncouple, I have to set the air brakes on the portion of the train that is not going to be moving past this point, at least with this consist. So, we have to walk all the way down here, probably inspect every single car. What did I? Oh, Pennsylvania Railroad, the whistle sign. So we're gonna cross over to this side here. This looks just looks beautiful. And then look at this. We're gonna cross back over here. Air brakes should, in theory, be on this side for these cars, at least for this one. On the other side, okay, we're gonna cross over just to do the air brake. Let's get that all hunky dory and ready. Wow. Wow, BNSF. Great. Thank you for lubing everything up. So now we're gonna uncouple here. Let's see. Not all the air has been lost because, again, air brake, which I think it clamps down on the hose as well. That have to be replaced, I believe. I have no clue how this stuff works. There are any actual qualified people. Feel free to tell me how things work, please. So now we're going to walk back on what was formerly track 3 for the Pennsylvania Railroad. Pennsylvania Railroad. Yeah, that sounds weird. This Pennsylvania Railroad is one thing to say it too fast, it just sounds weird. Kinsey pinstripe. That's what we need. We need a Kinsey. We need a pinstripe air tube, which I believe we do have. I'm ready for no pulse here. So we're gonna pull out here. And we're gonna save again because we're not doing that again. We are not. We're gonna because this is a 1% grade. Not the fully out winner. Are these full? No, they're not. You know what? That would be a great detail though. Leave some open. I'll leave one auto rack open there. We need door physics too. So like the doors, just even though they're on a hinge. Oh, backwards. Backwards. Girl, you gotta move backwards, baby. Baby, you gotta move backwards. You gotta move backwards. There we go. There we go. That's great. This thing is hard to stop down this grade for some reason. Yeah, it's like this part of the grade has no physics. You have to fix that Transcend World. You gotta fix that dovetail. I think that's one thing that dovetail has to work on for this route. See, even start slowing down. You see, I have to use my independent, which I don't like using my independent that much, especially when I have things attached. See, it's a great thing that we saved, right? It's a great thing that we saved. It really is a great, beautiful thing that we saved. I'm gonna go crash out. You guys saw the gist. You guys saw the main move that we were doing. Goodbye.